We're living in unusual times, and what we're doing tonight is highly unusual on many levels. Yes, we've been on Zoom many times over the past 6 months, but not for this. And to come here less than 24 hours before the beginning of a new year and to have some semblance, some feel of what we are going to experience on Rosh Hashanah. It's devastating and it's beautiful. And what I hope that we could all walk out with tonight is just something. Be touched. That's all I want. It's going to be quick. It's going to be short, straight to the point. Some beautiful music and of art. I'm going to start off by asking the Brill Boys to turn on their camera and to take it away with some beautiful songs. We'll be listening to some songs from the Brills, and we'll be listening to songs from Gaby, from our team, and I will be sharing a thought. And by the way, I'm going to be sharing a thought about a thought, and I'll explain what that means in just a second. Brills, take it away.
חמור על מעשיך, ותשמח במעשיך, ויאמרו לך חוסך, בצדקך מוסך.
Shkoyach, guys. I'm going to switch in the order. I'm going to ask Gaby to sing Rabbi A now, and then I'm going to ask you guys to do a chila, and then I'm going to speak. I just want to, the music is just magnificent, and it really sets the tone more than any drasha. But Gaby, go for it, and then we'll go right back to the Brills.
ושימחתי בבית תפילתי והביאו איתי אל הר קודשי ושימחתי בבית תפילתי עולותיהם וזבחיהם לרצון על מזבחי כי ביתי בית תפילה ייקרא לכל העמים והביאו איתי אל הר קודשי ושימחתי בבית תפילתי והביאו איתי אל הר קודשי ושימחתי בבית תפילתי עולותיהם וזבחיהם לרצון על מזבחי כי ביתי בית תפילה ייקרא לכל העמים.
Shkoyach, Gaby, that was beautiful. Shkoyach. So far we heard a Rosh Hashanah song, we heard a Yom Kippur song, now we're going to hear another song that each year the Brill Boys customarily sing it together, Achila. So now they're going to do it for us, and then following that we're going to share a vart and a vart about a vart, and then we'll move on to the final song.
Achila lakei, achale panav, ay 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 ay, eshala mimenu, marani lashon, asher bikaram, ashira uzoy, mani arenana. Mi שלום ממנו, מענה לו שוי, אשר בגללו, הושיע עוזוי, רבי A ביד מפעלו,
Yasher koyach, guys, that was magnificent, absolutely magnificent, stunning.
Thank you, Josh.
Koyach Brills. Please God, we're going to hear you guys again before Yom Kippur. Guys, you won't believe what I'm about to tell you. It is so embarrassing, and it's so sad, and it's so wonderful. Earlier today, I sent a video. I was wearing the kittel, I was wearing the talis. The reason I was doing that was because I was preparing a full-on speech. Not only was I preparing, I prepared. I spent 20, 30 minutes setting up the perfect video angle, my laptop and the earphones. In the shul, I dressed up in the moiling room. The aircon didn't trigger yet. And I gave a speech from my heart. And then tonight, about a half an hour ago, 45 minutes ago, I got on the computer and I developed this craze that I need to clear my desktop. Instead of putting things into the recycle bin, I by mistake pressed Shift Delete on that video, which goes into permanent delete. And the last 40 minutes, I've been trying to get the file back and it hasn't showed up. And as this event started, I thought to myself, I said, lady, stop. You spent 30, 40 minutes trying to get the file back. Chances are you're not going to find it in the next 10 minutes. And the speech you gave before, you were wearing a kittel and a talis and a shul. And now I'm sitting with bad lighting, tired. I needed to take a panada 5 minutes ago to take a headache away. Lady, what's Hashem telling you? What's he saying? What's the message? You came and you presented such a magnificent, I was standing there, I was in such a prime, I really was, like I was just in a good zone. It was a beautiful atmosphere in the shul. I was talking to the camera. It was just so powerful. But it wasn't meant to be shown to you tonight. It wasn't meant to be shown to anybody ever. It's gone. And instead, you're having me here, raw, at home, not pre-recorded, live. And in many ways, this is what life's all about. There's the person that we want to be. I wanted to be that person dressed in white, looking fresh, talking, articulate, knowing exactly where I want to go. But then I'm this. It's a famous story of Yaakov, of Jacob, our father, where he thinks he's marrying Rachel, but his father-in-law tricks him and gives him the older sister Leah. And That evening, he thinks he's with Rachel, wakes up in the morning, Vehine Hileah, and behold, it's Leah. And the sages and the commentaries explain, and even the Torah says it clearly, that Rachel was beautiful, magnificent, fair. Leah was a bit haggard. Her eyes were tired from so much crying. She was more of a difficult personality, a challenging personality. And there's the famous Vart that you go to sleep at night, you get married to a person, you think they're Rachel, and you wake up the next day and you discover they're not so perfect. They're Leah, they're complex. And that's what I'm feeling like right now. I wanted to project a Rachel. I wanted to project from a place of wholesomeness. But Hashem, for some reason, tonight wants me to talk to you from a place of brokenness. Not broken. You know, I'm okay. I'm half in tears, but I'm okay. Raw. So this is what I'm going to tell you from my rawest self. If I'm honest and I ask myself what I'm feeling right now, I'm feeling such incredible love to the community, to each and every one. Connection. A year ago, minus a day, was the day that Chai and I were appointed to be the Rabbi and Rebbitzin of Shul, Rosh Hashanah last year, first night. And as the first year as the senior rabbi in the Shul, this is not the year I expected it to be, not in the slightest. None of us expected this. And yet, this year has given me more of an appreciation to why I do what I do than any other year in my past, and chances are any other year in the future. Because for once, the pennies dropped, and I know why we need community. And so do you. You know why you need community. How many of you on here tonight think back to the relationship that you had with the shul a year ago, that you had to Torah a year ago, that you had to yourself a year ago, that you had to your inner purpose a year ago, and think how much growth we've done this year. Not we as in a collective, each and every one of us. Whether you did it through the community or you did it through yourself, each and every one of us is walking into this Rosh Hashanah more mature, kinder, less materialistic than we were a year ago. It's not negotiable. You cannot walk into Rosh Hashanah 2020 the same level that you were in 2019, because life has changed us and we've changed ourselves. This is a Rosh Hashanah that we're walking in. On the one hand, it's heartbreaking. Rosh Hashanah for many of you, and even those of us coming to Shul, it's going to feel very much like I'm feeling right now. The glory's gone. The talis is off. The kittel's off. The video's deleted. That's what we're feeling. But we're so much more real. You know, as a speaker, I usually speak off the cuff. I usually get up, I know what I'm trying to go, but how exactly I put the speech together is off the cuff. But then there's big speeches, important speeches, that, you know, just because I want to make sure that I cover every base, I prepare. And that was what today was. Today was like, I'm going to come. This is a serious moment. We're going to sit together, Linksfield Shul, and we're going to be on the Zoom together, and we're going to farbreng, and we're going to get into the zone of Rosh Hashanah, and it's all going to be fantastic. And Hashem comes to me and says, Levi, I don't need you that way. Be raw, be real. Be real. Because this year, we're all walking in more real than we walked in a year ago. You are not, or I am not as shallow as I was last year. I'm swimming a bit more in the deep, and so are you. You appreciate family today more than you ever have. You appreciate just to be in the company of another human being more than you ever have. You appreciate the gift if you're lucky enough to have children or a spouse. You realize what a gift it is to be able to have lockdown with them. And for those who don't have it, you realize how much you miss it. we've become better people. We've become deeper people. We've become more sincere people. We've become such a much better version of ourselves. And I think that as we walk into Rosh Hashanah, it's not only about beating yourself up, Chatasi, Avisi, Pashati, I sinned, Hashem, I'm imperfect. I think this year you and I could walk into Rosh Hashanah, and for once, look at Hashem, you say, you know what? Maybe this year wasn't ideal, but gosh, have I grown. It wasn't another New Year's resolution. I said I'm going to grow, but I didn't. I grew. Each and every one of us grew. But what my prayer is for this coming year is that we don't need to grow only from challenges. Friends, we don't need the world to go into lockdown, to have a pandemic, to lose lives, to lose wages, to lose quality of life. We don't need to go through this in order to learn the lessons of life. Unfortunately, that's what happens when they do happen. When we go through these pandemics, it does make us deeper, more profound, and better people. But how about when you show up to Hashem tomorrow night, on first night Rosh Hashanah, at home, at shul, wherever you are, you come to God and say, you know what, God, I get it. I get it. You want me to be a better version of myself. You want me to be less angry, less jealous, less materialistic, more grounded, more wholesome, more real, more genuine. I know that. But Hashem, here's my deal with you. My deal with you is, dear God, that if you give me a good year and you give the world a good year, I'm not going to stop growing. I'm not going to become that same person I was. I don't want to be there. I don't want to only care about how many clothes I have in my wardrobe and what car I'm driving and how much money I spent on my bar mitzvah and what people are saying about me. I don't want to be that shallow. I want to be deeper. I want to have something real in life. I want to invest my time and my energy in things that are not temporary, but that are eternal. And God, that's my deal with you. My deal with you is you give me the abundance. You give me the blessings. You give me everything I need. And I promise you, Hashem, that I'll continue my growth, that I won't go back into the shallow of the pool. I'll continue swimming in the deep. I'll continue being searching, finding something. Friends, life is so fragile. We've learned it this year. Just a few months ago, I buried a 93-year-old mother, and 3 weeks later, I buried a wonderful member of our community, her son. I buried his mom, and he was healthy. And 3 weeks later, I buried him. Life is so fragile. It's also so beautiful. And I finish off with one request, a request to each and every one of you. Most of you are not coming to shul this year, and I get it. It's the right decision. It's the right decision for you. But please, don't let this be the new normal. Please let it not happen that in 12 months' time, please God, once there's a vaccine, we sit and tell ourselves, you know what? I already missed one Rosh Hashanah. Who cares? I missed a Rosh Hashanah. Who cares? Yom Kippur. I could survive without shul. Don't let the abnormal become normal, because what's happening this year, what's happening in 24 hours from now is abnormal. It's beautiful, it's original, but it's not normal. Being at home instead of in shul, instead of community, is the circumstance of today, but this shouldn't be the new normal. This should not be the year that people will say in 100 years' time that until 2020, the South African jury was committed to their shuls. But then came the pandemic. And the South African jury started going in the same direction as their friends all around the world, as their siblings, as the fellow Jews around the world, where they drop shul. No. Commit to yourself. Promise yourself that you'll be back. that you'll be back in shul when it's ready, that you'll belong to community. Because one thing you've learned this year is that shul is not about owning a seat. That's not why you pay membership, and that's not why you're part of it. The amount of people that have said that Leesfield Shul has literally kept them breathing for the last 7 months, kept their heart beating. That's what community is about. We belong. I know that I couldn't have survived the past 7 months nearly without the support of this community. We're a family. And this year, more than ever, we realize what family is all about. And we realize what community is about. So L'Shana Haba, please God, in Jerusalem, in the Linksfield Shul within Jerusalem. And may you and I be blessed with the sweetest, most blessed, most gorgeous year of our life. May abundance shine on each and every one of us. May we feel the light of Hashem in our hearts and in our minds. And may we commit to continue growing no matter what. Because once we're on the pattern of growth, there's no way back. Once you started swimming in the deep, there's no desire to swim in the shallow. Shana Tova. And we finish off with a beautiful song from Gaby, V'chol Ma'aminim, we all believe. Shekayach and Shalom.
וכל מאמינים שהוא כאמונה הבוחן ובודק גנזי נסתרות חיי וכל מאמינים שהוא בוחן כליות הגואל ממוות ופודל משחת וכל מאמינים שהוא כהן חזק, אדן יחידי, דלי ועולם היה וכל מאמינים שהוא דיין אמת, הגוי באשר יהיה, וכל מאמינים שהוא היה ובביאה, עבדי שמו כן תהילתו היה וכל מאמינים שהוא בין בלתו הזוכר מזכיריו טובות זיכרונות יננאי ננאי יננאי ננאי יננאי ננאי יננאי ננאי יננאי ננאי Ya na 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 ya na 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 ya na 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 ya na 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 Shana Tova.
Mi ode